Hello, this is Greg Harriman reporting from NBC. Tonight concludes the presidential debate between Democrat Nadia Shaheen and Republican Henry Way. Both expressed their views from the different issues that many states asked about during the 45-minute town hall-style debate. Let's hear some of them, shall we?
Hi, I'm Hannah Johnson from Ohio. Candidate Way, last week your VP emphasized in the debate and numerous speeches that the poor were the ones who needed the most help and attention. Is he implying that the rest of the middle to upper class don't matter to the Republican Party?
That's a great question, Hannah. So what my VP was trying to say is, in terms of Social Security and Medicare, we want to create brackets of different help. So for those who are rich and have a lot of savings, we wanted to give them a certain amount of portion, and those who are poor get more. But then each bracket throughout will get a certain amount of money. So we wouldn't be excluding the middle class, but we're giving them a different portion than those of a lower socioeconomic class.
This is America, so everybody is important. Poor, rich, doesn't matter. We want to help everyone. And by giving some tax cuts to the less wealthy, that'll help increase money for them, and then the money will go into the economy. And as the economy flourishes, everybody will be benefiting from that, rich and poor.
I'm Allison Bruno from Florida. For every 1% increase in unemployment, there's a 4.1 increase in suicide rates, 5.7% increase in homicide rates, and 8.7% increase in child abuse. These staggering statistics affect many Americans and need to be addressed. What is your practical plan to fix unemployment?
It is difficult to hear statistics like these, but we will try to help make sure those all lower and employment also lowers. We will create jobs by extending the payroll cuts for the employees, drop the payroll tax for businesses, and allocate more money for hiring teachers, refurbishing schools, and doing up roads, airports, and railways. That will create tons of jobs for the unemployed. And also more stimulus packages like the one in 2009, which created many jobs and saved over 1.1 million jobs.
All right. Now, the economy is broken up. Jobs are broken up this way. The government controls 15% of the workforce. Big business controls 5%. And small business controls 80% of the entire workforce. So what I plan to do is lower the regulations to allow more small businesses to flourish, right? Lower the corporate tax and other payroll taxes to allow small businesses to thrive and hire more people.
What are your views on gay marriage?
Everybody should be able to be married to who they love, period. It doesn't matter if it's a man and another man, a woman and another woman, a man and a woman. Marriage is a bond between two people who love each other, and who's to say that that is not allowed?
I believe that every American has the right to the pursuit of happiness. And now, when I become president, the idea is that gays will have the right to something called a civil union. And the thing is, civil unions and marriage are the exact same thing under the law. They'll have the same exact rights, the same exact, and everything. They'll just be called a civil union versus a marriage.
How do you view the influential role teachers' unions play in education?
You need to make sure that each teacher is qualified and will be giving the best for the children that will be learning from them, so then we can make sure that everybody has the best education they can.
Teachers are extremely important to the education of our kids. But what's happening right now is sometimes the unions are defending teachers that maybe are not working up to par, who are not giving the best to their to the kids that they're teaching. For instance, in New York, what's happening is when a teacher is not up to par, what we do is they simply take the teacher, they put him in another area, and they give him the full amount of pay and everything, all the benefits, but he's not teaching any kids. You know, your grades, your test scores, your school attendance, and give money, the proportion based on that. But also what I would like to do is for 25% of the other money is I like to put it towards incentivized growth. So what happens is if you have 50% school attendance, that's terrible. But if you bring up to 60%, it's still well below the national average. What happens is that's a 20% increase. You just increase attendance by 20%, from 50% to 60.
I'm sorry, come again?
You just increase attendance by 20%, from 50% to 60.
No, that would be 20%, but moving on.
And so what happens is, therefore, you need to reward that. And by giving them more money and things like that, we can reward kids, schools, and faculty to do better.
After many different topics discussed, the presidential candidates finally came to their closing statements.
Thank you, Cheska, and thank you, Henry, for debating with me tonight. Firstly, I'd like to thank my opponent for agreeing to debate me tonight, and I'd like to thank all those who came here to make their voices heard in the presidential election. It's important that you come because you're about to make a decision that will change the course of our country, Wall Street. You are my judge and my jury. Nation, we have come to a fork in the road. I think it's abundantly clear which path we should choose.
I'd like to thank the great state of Florida and the great citizens of Miami to allow us to have this debate here and to allow us to have our voices heard. I'd like to thank Francesca for moderating. I'd like to thank Nadia for debating with me. And I believe that the Americans have a choice right now. A choice between someone who wants to make the government bigger to control your lives and to, with your courage and with your ingenuity, that we together can rise up from any problem thereof. Thank you.
After their concluding debates, the presidential candidates shook their hands and hugged their invisible children. And then finally, Kevin Lemire decided to visit Michigan in hopes of attracting some awareness.
And raise it on the range. That's the opposite of what they said that they should do. That's narrowing the tax base, and that's for any economist to tell you that is not the way to tax anyone.
So, what was your reaction to the presidential debate today?
I thought Nadia seemed really prepared compared to the vice presidential debate and her previous, and the stuff that the media portrayed her as. And I thought Henry made some good points, so all in all, it was a good debate for both candidates.
As you can see, this debate showed the strong views of the candidates. Nadia is showing her approval and support for gay marriage, while Henry is more focused on helping people get their jobs back. This is Greg Harriman reporting from MSNBC. Thank you for clicking on this video. Good night.